There you go. Welcome to live. Yep, here we are. Wait some people to get in here online if they want to get in here. Are you there? Anybody out there? Who's that? Let's see, Lloyd Baker. Whoop. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm trying to get myself set up on this iPad again. It decided it wants to do its own thing again. So here. All right, here we go. Let's see what's going on here. I had this all set up, but I hit the wrong button and I lost it. Isn't that how it goes? Let's see where we can find ourselves on the iPad so we can see. Here it is. We're alive. All right. Now we're back. How's everybody doing? Oh, let's see. Hi, RV Nomad Dad. 32 degrees and snowing here in northeast Utah. Well, we dropped down in temperature here. We're down about 64 right now. But we had the last 2 days, the second days of wind. That's the reason why I'm inside the bus today. Wind was just ripping through here, 40, 50 plus miles an hour yesterday and some gusts. So we came inside. I did. Zen's outside somewhere. He's down there laying in the shade. But hey, two pups and a truck. How you doing, two pups and a truck? But we're doing pretty good besides the windy. And you'll see the camera once in a while. You'll see it doing this. And that's just from the wind blowing the bus around. So, outdoorsy gal, how's your evening going? I'm good. I'm good too. Thank you. Yep, it's going pretty good. Just a nice, calm day today, besides the wind blowing pretty hard. Just hanging out here and waiting for, our daily thing. Wait for dinner and then dog walk and then evening activities, which is watch a little YouTube. So, yep, RV Nomad Dad sleepless light nights last nights with winds here too. I know it's been whipping all over the country, I guess, on this side, but yeah, I saw some videos down in Texas are blowing trucks over. I'm sure up that way too. So, do you have much snow up there, or just on the ground, or just snowing again? I did see that Duck Creek Village was under a winter storm warning yesterday, so it means maybe we got some snow down there finally. See what happens. Outdoors girl, you're starting to get fires. Where are you starting to get fires at? What state are you in, or country? Maybe you're in Canada, or what state are you in getting fires? Usually it's California that gets the first fires, I think. Windy down here in Baja, no fishing. No fishing. Oh my gosh, you got to get some fish. That's my main excitement when you guys come by with some fish. But yeah, I can see it's windy everywhere. Spring is, was it March winds, they say? It's almost March, but it's been blowing in here. I can sit and watch a vehicle drive by too out the front window of the bus. You can't see it here, but turn the camera around, you can see out to the side. There's kind of what my view at the front is. I can see over that into the Reflectix and out the front. There we go. But yes, kind of my hiding block behind the Reflectix. Colorado west, but the fire is out east. Yeah, it's probably due to lack of, you haven't had much snow up there in Colorado again. Where's Zenny boy? He's right outside. Where is he? Oh, he's under the bus. He was right there. I guess he wasn't under the bus, so he's not in. Usually, sometimes he comes and lays back there on the floor when I'm talking to myself. So, but he hadn't made his way in here yet. He's just been hanging out under the bus and doing his own thing out there. Like I said, it's not cold. It's about 64 degrees. That's not bad, but being outside with the wind and the dust, it's a little rugged to be out there sometimes. Even my little tent out there is taking a pretty good flopping back and forth. Doing pretty good. Camperman 1951, how you doing? How's Zen's foot? Zen's foot is great. Great. I got some up and coming videos. Next two videos will show him talking about him and his paw. He had no problems. He just been going and going and going like nothing's ever happened. So I don't know what it was. Maybe just something. Like I said, I think he just twisted it or something. But he's doing good. Oh, the mountains are getting snow in Colorado. Good, good. Yeah, I just said, like I said, Utah was getting some mountain snow too down around where my campground is. So that's good. You can use all the snow they can up in the mountain because that provides all the water down below. What else is going on out in the outside world? It's still quiet here in Quartzsite. People are leaving. Um, it's getting less and less people every day because the weather's been kind of warmer and up to the north and in the higher elevations it's been a little bit warmer. So people have been leaving and it had been near as crowded of this season, and it's really getting thinned out, which is not a bad thing, but it's kind of depressing too to see everybody leave and like, where's everybody going? But everybody's got a place to go. Oh, good, you're going down water operation training. Yeah, that's uh, that's a pretty big training, from what I understand from what Junior was saying. That's a lot of work. So, water operation, yeah, that's a big thing. And you're gonna drive by the campground and see, yeah, just like I said, they should have some snow on them. Not near as much as there were like 2 years ago, but any snow is better than something. I hope the lake, you know, absorbs some of that water, so it bring the lake level up. It's been so low; it's getting really, really low. Outdoor Gypsy Gal, hope we get a good dump on soon. I'm at 7,000 feet. That's not very high. 7,000 feet's pretty decent. Um, Pretty decent. My campground's 9,200 feet, so that's a little higher. And then my property I've got in southeast Colorado is almost 9,000 feet also. But so yeah, I kind of like that high elevation. Sounds like, don't I? My chat is having problems. What kind of problems is my chat having? Somebody let me know. Is it glitching or is it vocal or what? I got, oh, I hear the boss barking. Desperate Lake desperately needs water. He's moved out of his area. Hear him bark? All right. See, And we're gonna have to go get him in here. He's a goofy dog. So what he does, I hear him barking. What he does, and happens in the evening and the daytime. He'll go out and he'll sit right outside the door, and he'll do that. He won't come in on his own. You just sit there until I go out and say, "Come on in." Then he comes on in. Um, no problem with the chatter sound in the video. Okay, good. It's all good now. It could be the wind blowing. I noticed last night trying to watch some YouTube while the wind was blowing pretty hard. And the clouds were pretty heavy. That YouTube and internet was taking a long time for it to make a good signal. So it could be something like that. But hello from Hurricane, Dennis and Janet. How are you guys? Oh, Flaming Gorge had a nice dump of hail. Yeah, I know about that mountain hail. It comes and goes pretty quick sometimes. Let's see where Zen's at. I guess he went to the front of the bus, but he quit barking. Who knows? It sounds like he's coming in. The doors are on the wind blowing so hard. The doors in the bus are, even though they're open, they're doing this. So they're going boom, 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 boom. But time for Zen treats. You know what? He hadn't had any treats. He's had treats, but he hadn't eaten any of them today. So he's not in his treating mood right now. But he'll get around to it this evening. He'll go through and make up for the daily usage of treats. And then, but yeah, he usually had the treats after his morning walk this morning. No, he just turned his nose up at him and left him alone. So I don't know. He does that once in a while. He gets picky and doesn't want food. He's barking again. So let me go see if I can get him in here. My iPad's plugged in because my battery does not hold up very well. Be right back, everybody. Hold on. Let me grab the dog, keep him from barking. Where are you? Come on. Everybody on YouTube wants to see the star of the show. Get on in there. Here he comes. You might be able to see him walk by. Look here. Come on back. All right. Here we go. Here he is. Come over here. Right here. Come here. There he is. Everybody see him? There's the nose. He made it back in. You can go lay down now. You got water in your bowl? Yep, you're good. All right. I want to make sure the star was set up. He's got his water and he's got his food and he's good to go. The Pyrenees doesn't like the wind at all. He begs to come in. He didn't mind the wind, but sometimes he doesn't want to be at it. And yesterday evening when we were outside, we came back from our short evening walk, and he went under the bus, and I came inside because it was blowing pretty good. He was out there for a couple minutes, then he came in because I guess it was too much of a wind tunnel under the bus. And the wind was just ripping last night. It was probably 50 plus mile an hour gust. So he spent a lot of time inside last night. Yep, the star is here. He's licking my hand. Look here. See there, look, he's getting a little stars. He's a little nervous. He didn't want to be on camera. But there he goes. That's his usual spot whenever I'm having dinner or doing something. He'll come lay down there. That way you guys can still see him. Just look down there. Look on your lower, whatever corner of your camera, since the cameras are, is it backwards? I don't know. This is not, I don't know. But look, here he is. Yep. He's just hanging out. Like I said, it's still pretty windy. Yeah, but he just sits outside and barks. One bark. And he'll just bark until I say come in, then he'll come on in. Outdoor gypsy gal, do you have sheep, goats, or livestock that your dog watches up there in Colorado? You may have said that before, but I don't remember a lot of things. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. much less what people said last week. Oh, the joys of getting older. When are you coming back, Brian, from Baja? After you catch some fish? Got my tea. It's not real tea. It is tea, but it's got that, what is it? Strawberry lemonade, something squirted into it. Makes it flavorful. No, not a farm, but a big backyard from the roam. Yeah, they do like the roam. That is for sure. Um, and if you don't have a really tall fence, they can get over those and roam for more. My daughter even sent me a little short video on Instagram about Pyrenees escaping, and they were showing the Pyrenees going through the gate, over the fence, underneath. And I go like, yep, that's true. Don't know yet, no plans. Hey, that's the best way to be. You know, you'll come back when you get time. I guess you got to be back in the States within, what is it, 180 days in Mexico. So that's your limit on your visa or your pass. But yeah, no hurries. You got to get them fish first. You're going to stop at my campground in Utah this summer? Well, come on by. A lot of people stop by my campground. I met a YouTuber last year. He did a short little talk with me. He was um, my shoebox adventures, Steve. He actually just whipped into the campground looking for a campsite, and we were really busy. We were full, and he stopped in for a few minutes and didn't get to much of a talk because more people kept coming up and asking me questions. But yeah, he's been over here. Steve had been here for a couple months, and he was down the road, and now he's gone again. So he's probably taking the shoebox and back on the road. And so he's got called the Shoebox Adventures. It's a little teardrop camper, and that's what he uses. But yeah, he stopped by. So yep, Mesa heard Zen's voice and hopped up to your lap. Yep, his voice. Oh, you heard Zen. Okay, yeah, because he's rattling. Somebody said that the tags when they clink clink clink, they make them. Their dog gets excited. So oh, Bob from Duck Creek is there. Yep, and watch Mesa play. That's good. That's good because was it last year you had to take Mesa over to the main office and somebody else that watched her? I think wasn't that is that right? I think what I read or heard. But yeah, it's getting about that time, isn't it? But for sure, for sure. Outdoor gypsy gal, yeah, he's already took out the fence once and it was a 6 foot wood. Yeah. Yeah, they'll get out. Pyrenees are known to escape. They're really great escape artists, and they'll climb. Really good climbers too. They can climb over fences, and but if you got wire at the bottom of it, that kind of slows them down. But and they like to dig. Believe me, I know that. I've got some caves underneath my bus right now that he's dug. So they do like to dig for sure, and they will climb. Is Junior up your way too, Alan? Is he up there? Oh, okay. We plan on visit too. We have property at Brass Canyon. We spent all summer on, but drive home on and off. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Swing on by. Like I mentioned last time, I've been to Bryce Canyon, but that was 20 years ago. I mean, 45 minutes or whatever from Bryce Canyon, and I haven't been back yet. I need to get some time. But one reason why I don't go to like Bryce Canyon and Zion is because Zen can't go into the camp. I mean, he can go in, but he can't walk around the campground or the park. So he has to stay like in the bus or in the parking lot, which doesn't make much sense for me to drive and sit in the parking lot, you know. So we stay out of that area in the national parks until I find one that's dog friendly. That's why I'm thinking maybe this season I'll stop back by Grand Canyon because dogs are allowed in the upper rim of Grand Canyon just on the trail. So that's kind of nice. So they can get out and we can walk around for a couple miles. And then this season too, I won't be able to get after June. I won't be able to get this bus on the east entrance because they're going to close the tunnels down for big vehicles. So yeah, that's going to be interesting change for a lot of the bigger vehicles, RVs and trucks and campers and other things. The but yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I think that's in June, so maybe I'll go through this summer or the spring on the way up, and then I'll be able to drive through the tunnels before they close them down and just say I did it. I'm trying to see what else we have here. Oop, about to lose my. Yeah, but stop by the campground. You'll have to tell me who you are because I won't, just say, hey. And actually, when you pull in the campground, there's a parking space. There's 4 parking spaces before you get to my host site. So you'll be able to pull in there. That's easy to do. I'm trying to see. I see some words come up on the telephone on my phone, but they're not showing up on my iPad. Maybe that's the. Oh, there you go. Okay, I have to refresh. Oh, okay, okay, okay. He's in the same campground in separate loops. Yep. Okay. Good. Yep. Okay. Yep. Snow's coming down hard and blowing all over. Oh, yep. That's it. That's what Zen misses is that snow for sure. I may have to close the shade down because I've got a lot of sunlight coming off here. Sun is starting to lay down in the west here. They're, I drew a gypsy gal, strong dogs and can be food aggressive, but other than that, they are sweetest dogs. I can guarantee that. They are very strong. He's not food aggressive because it's really not around the other dogs. Here you go. Hey, that's better. Whew. It's starting to blind me on the side here. Oh, whew, there we go. RV Johnny, how hard is it to get reservation at your campground a week out or at other parks in the area? Looks like a nice place to spend time in the summer. The way the reservation system works is all the campgrounds have, they say approximately 30% need to be reservations. And they open up the reservations for all the campgrounds on recreation.gov. All the campgrounds they open up in the end of November for 1 week. And what they do is that 1 week in December, end of November, December is for the first week of the opening for the summertime. Second week is for the second week of the summertime. Third week for the fourth. So right now, if you went online and looked for February in my campground or other campgrounds, you would have The openings would be through like the second week of August, and after that, you can't reserve until next week, and you do the next week. It's kind of confusing, but they open about 6 months ahead of time on reservations and getting into the spots, but it's not for the entire season until you get closer in the season. But I had people last year said they booked reservations within a week. So, it just depends. Depends on the campground and depends on the amount of traffic. I've got two sites in my campground that once they're booked, they'll, like right now, probably by March, they'll be booked for the entire summer, probably through closing. And so you won't be able to get anything on those, but then I'll have two or three others that will be accessible, and they're not near as heavily booked. They're not as great campsites as the two that are all booked. But yeah, it's not too hard. Um, you can get on, I think, an email list or something that lets you know that you put in your dates that you want in there, and you put it in the system, and it gives you availability. If something opens up on those days, then it notifies you. So, okay, yep. There's a 4-day window. Okay, thanks, Alan. There's a 4-day window. If you want an opening on Friday, you have to book it by Monday. Yeah, they don't let you do 24 hours. You can't do like the same day. I know at least 2 days in advance. So if you wanted a campground, say you came in on Wednesday and you want it for Thursday, you couldn't get it, or you couldn't get it on Friday, you could get it on Saturday. So it makes sense. They don't want to, and that's just to keep people from pulling into a campsite and see that the reservation is open for that night and booking it right then. So they can't do that. So that's why they did that waiting period. See what else in here. Hello from Maryland. Hello, Richard Grimm Sr. from Maryland. Yeah, RV Nomad Dad, he's my boss if anybody needs to know. But yeah, they do cancel quite often. And so that's something to look into, because they can book a site like the ones that are full through the entire summer. They can cancel, and you have a couple days. If you know about it in advance, you can actually rebook that site. A lot of people do that. They get in there and they take up a site that's been open for cancellation. And what happens is, my boss will know too, that I found that it seemed like when people book sites, reserve sites, that I'm going to say about 85% of them, if they're booked for one night, don't show up. And if they're booked for multiple nights, then they usually show up. But they're booked for one night. And I think the reasoning behind that is because like right now in February, you book for July. You may not know what you're going to be doing in July. So you book a site and you forget you got a site, and you don't go back and cancel it. And you got to cancel it within 48 hours, I think, 24, 48 hours before you can get your money back. And then there's a fee for reserving the site. And then there's a fee for canceling the site. So it just depends if you want your $4 back after you do all that or not. So it's kind of, it's crazy. RV Johnny, thank you. I enjoy your content. Well, thanks for coming by and saying hi. I'm glad you do. Outdoor Gypsy, I think it would be hot in the summer in Arizona. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be in Arizona in the summer. I can guarantee that right now, because Arizona has got a couple seasons, summer and hot. So, yeah, from what I heard, being down here in Quartzsite, being 115, 120 degrees, it's not good. It's not fun. I could handle that probably, because it cooled down into, if you don't have air conditioning, you find a shade, but it cools down in the evening to 85, 90 degrees, which is still uncomfortable to sleep. But I could probably get it done. But with this big snow log back here, no. As you know, Outdoor Gypsy Gal, once it gets warm, these guys don't like it. So he likes it cool. And at about 80 degrees, 85, he starts suffering. I could tell it's really, really rough on him. Hello from Lindy and Charlie in Florida. How you doing, Lindy and Charlie in Florida? What part of Florida are you from? I've been to Florida way, way too many times, but I haven't been there in goodness, many, many years. But yeah. Oh, you stayed in Quartzsite. You stayed in Arizona last summer. Oh, I hope goodness that was a mild summer too. It was only 118. So, but yeah, it's a desert. Believe it, people, it's a desert, and that's why everybody in the LTVA gets out middle of April. It's April 15th is the ending date because it starts getting way too hot for people to hang around. Blountstown. Is that how you say it? Blountstown? I don't know. I haven't heard of Blountstown. Blountstown? I know where the big places are. I used to have ex-in-laws in where the Lake Wales and Winter Haven and down that area south of Orlando. Come to Colorado, lots of BLM land and nice campgrounds. I've been to Colorado a couple times, several times. Been there once in the bus. And yeah, we stayed in some BLM land down around Alamosa, down the Great Sand Dunes. And then we stayed in Pagosa Springs in the mountains and in the San Juan Forest, National Forest. We stayed there for a week and we were only 8 miles from Pagosa. So it was really nice. You can drive down to Walmart, get all your stuff, get you a cup of coffee, drive back up the mountain and hide out for, a few more days. And you're not that far from town. Colorado is beautiful, beautiful. I do like it. I like in Salida area. Salida was really nice little town. I'm really surprised. It's a really pretty town. I like Salida and that way to the Arkansas River. That's how we went when our first trip in the bus, just to see, get our feet wet, try things out. We left Arkansas and went to New Mexico and then went to Colorado to Pagosa Springs and then back down and up to Alamosa and then the Great Sand Dunes and then up to Salida. And then we went over to Pueblo and then back into Kansas and headed on back. So, yep, Christopher L. Windy in Quartzsite. Yes, if you're in Quartzsite, it's windy. That is for sure. It is windy. It hopefully settles down tomorrow. I gotta go down and get mail. I gotta walk down there and get mail. North part of Florida, the Apalachicola River. Okay, I know where the Apalachicola River is. The only last time I was in Florida, like I said, been I want to say 2007, 8, something like that. Almost 19, 20 years ago. And we'd always drive from Mobile and then back down. So did that right angle and head down. And so didn't do a whole lot of stuff. And you left Quartzsite in April last year. Was already flirting with the 90s. Yeah, it was. When I was in Lake Havasu, when I left Quartzsite in the middle of March, it was in the low 90s up there at the end of March. So yeah, it gets hot pretty quick down here in the desert of Arizona. But it's looking pretty good. We're getting a lot of flowers, a lot of spring bloom right now. So the creosotes are really starting to pop out, and then the little flowers are starting to pop up. So we haven't had any rain since a week or so before Christmas. Was that right? Something like that? Maybe after. Anyway, it didn't rain much. So they haven't had the replenishment, the nourishment that the first couple of rains did. So the grass is starting to dry up and not be as green, but the bushes are still pretty green. Still pretty green. Yeah, outdoor gypsy gal. One thing I have to I have to look into when I go to mountainous areas is my bus doesn't like mountains, and so I have to see how tall they are. And it'll get there eventually, but I may have to stop 4, 5, 6, 10 times going up. So um, I just kind of like to keep my eye out on mountainous roads because bigger vehicles have a little harder time going up mountains. Christy Eaton, 6'8", what was that, 6371. Hi, Tom and Zen. I can't believe I forgot Tom's live chat. Well, here I am. It kind of reminds me of when I was back in Sticks and Bricks and back in Arkansas. I met with a good friend on Tuesdays, and we would call it TWT, Talks with Tom, because we would meet at the local brewery and have a couple rounds, and then talk about whatever. And so, yeah, it would be TWT and CWC. His name was Chandler. So it's Chats with Chandler and Talks with Tom. So that's what we did on Tuesday evening. So it kind of reminds me of a little bit of that there. So yeah, Talks with Tom. We're going to try to do this on Tuesdays. What are you doing? You want to see who I'm talking to? Right here. Look. Are you done with your nap already? That was a short nap. Well, thank you, RB Johnny. I hope everybody. I know the Forest Service appreciates when you do little extra things on the campgrounds because it shows you care, and they like that. So if you keep it clean and do little touch-ups, and you can only do so much without getting their permission to do much else, but little stuff, you know, just not creating, but maybe maintaining paths, maintaining some campground areas, and different things that they enjoy because it just makes everything look better. And it's not set up where camp hosts usually do that. I just like doing that. I like keeping busy. So, and my campground being as new as it is, its whole thing's been redone within the last 3 years. So there's not a whole lot of campsite maintenance and things to do because it's all brand new. New concrete, new pavement, new tables, new everything. And so there's not a whole lot of stuff in there that has to be done. So the campground maintenance that I've done was on the older sites, which I think maybe will be replaced this year, the three walk-in tent sites. But yeah, I enjoy, like I said, I enjoy doing it. And like I said, a lot of camp hosts, they won't do it. I mean, it's not in the job description that you have to maintain or do anything. It's just, I just like doing it. So as I mentioned, so your camp host job or your description is basically you're the customer's liaison, and you're deal with the campers and clean up the park, pick up the trash and do the toilets and mow and sell firewood and maintain a rapport with the campers. But no, you don't have to go rebuild campsites or do anything extra. Now they do have an inspection that the Forest Service will come by at the first of the year, and they'll point out any kind of stuff that they want done. And then if they find something that happened over the year, like a tree fell or something like that, then they will recommend that the camp company, which is the company I work for, take care of it. And so that's the reason why some of it may be taken care of by the camp host, because the Forest Service says you need to fix this area because it's an erosion problem. Okay, you need to do this because you need to paint the tables, you need to paint the posts, you need to do the bathrooms, and then camp host gets involved on doing that. And that's usually after the company district manager lets you know what needs to be done. So hope is that understandable. I hopefully try not to talk fast enough that everybody will just, but no, I do have a habit sometimes of getting my words out pretty quick. Christy Wheaton, yesterday's video, you hooked up the what was that? Did you hear something? Something made noise. Sound like a bear growling in here. Yesterday's video, you hooked up the WeBoost. How's it working? It's working good. It is boosting the signal. I do not have it on right now because, as I mentioned in that video, that I'm only 2 miles maybe from the tower. So I've got a really good signal, and then by boosting it, it did help a little bit on the signal. But the real test is going to be this summer and spring when I get on the road and find weak points. And I do know where a few of them are. One is my campground in Utah has maybe a signal once in a while. So hopefully this cell booster will help pick that up. And also, if the company is still doing it, they provide Starlink for the remote camp host for the summer too. So we'll see how that goes. Um, oh, it says my chat's been disabled. Anybody still hear me? Um, let me read. I lost my internet for a second. Yep. See, yep, my light's off over there for internet. So Weebos is working fine, but it doesn't work for internet. So, okay, that's what it is. But my internet light, I can see my modem and the light. The green light is not green, and so that's why I can't see anything on here. But we'll still look on here. You can still hear us. I hope you. Yeah, the phone is on cell signal, so it's picking that up. But this is on internet because iPads don't have cell phone signal. Give me a second to read it. I live in North Dakota. Hey, from North Dakota. Oop, and then I gotta be quick because it fades away if I can't see the words anymore. But hello from North Dakota. How's the weather in North Dakota? Windy and cold, I bet. So yeah, as soon as okay, I see my green light flashing again. Maybe I'll have internet again. Yep, there we go. We'll get on here and I can answer more questions when I can see what they are. And that happens too. Internet will pop in and out, and it's not it's not guaranteed around here. Of course, nothing's guaranteed. Oh, I know what the internet went off. I can hear it now. Did you hear that? My power is at 100% and my inverter kicked off. That's the reason why I can't get online because it keeps kicking the power off. I thought I heard something, but anyway, we'll try to get on here. Let me put this iPad down. Bear with me while I kind of rearrange everything. See if I can get this back to. No, I'm trying to get it to change the screen. I hate to. Looks like the only way to do it is actually just to get off chat, but I don't want to do that. So let's see if I can get this internet to stay back on because it resets my the batteries when they get to 100%. It resets the power system, and I wish I knew what it was. But I did talk to somebody once, and they said just change your settings on your system, and that keeps the power from getting 100% and shutting them all off. Which I did a couple settings, didn't seem to help much, but what happens is it resets the modem, then the modem starts back up, and as soon as I get back online, and then solar panels kick in 100%. So let me be right back. I've got it shut off my solar system, and that helps. Okay. Oh. Yeah, usually if I shut the solar system off, then there's no charge going into it, so therefore it won't kick off the inverter. Let's see what happens. Okay. Did you keep an eye on everybody? All right, here we are. Sorry for all the interruptions. This live is hard work. Please hit the like button. There you go. Thank you much. Whoever put that on, it's gone again. Like I said, it pops up, then it fades away. So I got to be real quick to see what it says on the screen until I get my inverter to kick on. and then start my modem. I guess I need to do it live when I don't have 100% of my batteries, when I'm using the 110. Pardon me while I do some iced tea. Okay, there we go. Um, I got to get back so I can see you guys' questions and see what they said. We're trying. Like I said, it's not a high tech production at all. Or just whatever you see is what you get, and a lot of times you're gonna get me just being confused as I try to figure out these things. And then he's up there, whoop, laid back down on the front. He's got a blanket on the floor that he lays on. Also, sometimes he doesn't lay around a lot because um, he gets too hot. Being a cold weather dog, if he gets the floor heats up, the blankets heat up, then he has to move to a cooler spot and he keeps moving around. So when he's at night, when he's sleeping, he'll be back there in his bed, and then he'll move onto the floor in front of the bathroom. Then he'll move up to his bed up here on the floor. And then when it gets too warm, he'll go up on the couch. And then when he gets from the couch, he'll go back to his and work his way back. So I don't know how many times he moves through the night, but he evidently he probably moves quite a bit. Okay, let's see here. We're getting there with. Hold on, everybody. We're about to get connected here, I think. And there we go. See if we can get back on the live, and we'll do. Hi from Maryland, the MD. I think you're okay. Oh, here we go. We're back on. Let's see what happens. Then I'll get caught up on your questions real quick. Anybody who I missed. Sorry if I missed anybody's questions. Let me know or comments. Okay, here we go. We'll go back to Outdoor Gypsy Gal. She's a native of Colorado. Yet to see the sand dunes. There's a huge rigs going up the mountain. It's a pull for sure. Yeah. It's a pretty good. What the Colorado mountains, the roads are pretty well equipped for bigger rigs, from what I noticed, and I'm sure there are others that aren't as well. But there's a lot of pull-offs going up and down the mountains in Colorado, which is really helpful for bigger rigs because I got to pull up, cool off, and coming down, I got to pull over to cool down. So I'm glad they do that, but it's really good. CMOK2E, hi, Shihuria, how you doing? Here we go. This one, North Dakota. Yeah, we are forecasting after snow now. Can't wait till spring. We like Zen. Her name for spring weed dog. We like her name Juno. You have a dog named Juno. That's cool. That's a good Alaska name. Christy Eaton, I'm here. Oh, no interruption with signal. Good, thank you, Sharon. And Christy again. Please like the. Yep, thank you for the like button and the thumbs up. It helps everything. Frogs and fish more. Hi from Maryland. Okay, the second person from Maryland on here. So that's good. We're representative well in Maryland today. Yeah. Yeah, and what I'll do, like this time, I actually did a schedule live, so I went online and put 3 o'clock on Tuesday, and then scheduled it, and therefore I guess it notifies people. It says, TomandZen live in 30 minutes or something. I don't know how, but a little bit better than just trying to schedule it and just popping in unannounced. This way, you've got a little bit more um, advance notice, a little bit that will be on live. But we're going to try to do Tuesdays around 3 o'clock, give or take, a mountain time, which is Arizona time. Next month, it'll be Pacific time. So we'll let everybody know whenever the time changes. When the time changes, Arizona doesn't. Just remember that. We become California time. And that's kind of confusing, but yeah, so um, those in Central Mountain Time, Colorado, where you're an hour ahead, you'll be 2 hours ahead. So Scale Treasures, hello from Washington State. Hi, Washington State. Thanks for making the drone license video. You got me back on track to take mine. Well, I'm glad. I just wanted to put that out, the drone video, because people ask me, what does it take? And me being, like I said, an older retired person, my mind doesn't think as well as it did, 40 years ago. And so I'm soaking that information in um, to take the test. You get it, but it takes a little bit longer for me to retain it. And as I mentioned in the video, the first video I watched on taking the test, no way. If I didn't do any kind of studying, there's no way I would have been anywhere near able to pass that test. And it was just confusing. And I had just to have people on comment they took a test, no problem, but they're pilots, so they knew a lot of the stuff about flying already. I didn't know anything besides a plane. Hey, Rogue Chef, down the road. Yep, you're just down the road about a mile. Yeah, we try to pop on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock on our time. If you wanted to pop in there and say hi. That's the Rogue Chef. He's got a bus. I'm going to try to maybe do an interview on his bus and him, not on his bus, on him with his bus before he leaves and before we leave, because he's got it's a converted blood bank bus, if I remember right. So it's going to be an different style than what this bus is, and it's all set up in everyone's own, their own, how they like it. And so it's just how it is. Yeah, hit the like. I think if you hit the like button, just hit the screen twice if you're on a phone. I think that's how it works. Um, if I remember right. It took me a long time to figure out how to do that. And I usually have to ask my kids, how do you do this? So, and so now we got an idea how to do it. And I can't take a drone up in weather like this because way too windy for sure. And that's what you really have to watch out on drone is the wind, because it's not just getting it up in the air and it staying there, but it's also if you go somewhere against the wind or either way, and then you have to make sure you have enough battery power to get back from the wind. So, in my little drone, it says 32-minute flying time, but it's more like 22 minutes, maybe at the most. It's not near as long as it's advertised to go. Yeah, we'll try to do that get sometime, Rogue Chef. And before we get out of here, I'm not going to leave till probably April. So I don't know what time you're planning on staying around, but we'll connect somewhere on the road like we usually do. He goes by and we hollers and waves every time we walk by. So. Oh, yeah, Patrick, yeah. Hey, Patrick, tell your fans what Zen did when I thought he was coming over to say hi on our walk the other day. Yep. Patrick lives just down the way a little bit, and he walks every morning, so we see each other quite often. And he was walking towards us, morning 8 o'clock walk or 7:30 walk, and he was walking towards us. And Zen, we were on the other side of the road, so Zen started heading right towards him, like he thought go say hi. No, Zen went right on past him and went back behind a bush and peed on it. So he had other things in mind. He wasn't saying hi. He was marking that territory. But that's our little chat. But yeah, he's that's what he's doing. He's like walking right towards him and went on around him. Outdoor Gypsy, hoping to get to Utah sometime this year. It is a beautiful state. Um, that's the area. All the states are beautiful. You've got to just maybe sometimes look for the beauty of them. Arizona, like I thought when I first started coming out here, before I even came to Arizona, um, I thought, oh man, it's just dry desert. It's going to be bleh. But Arizona is a very interesting state too. It's got all the mountains and the valleys and the forest and the desert, and just it's a very unique state. All the states are very beautiful in their own way. They are for sure. Where do we stay before we go to work? Usually we'll camp out and we'll do some boondocking, and depends on when I leave here. Last year I left here and we took us 2 months to go 400 miles. So we just kind of work our way up the chain here and get a little higher in the mountains. And we just go for a week, 10 days, stay someplace, go to another place, stay a week, 10 days, and and so we stayed like outside the Grand Canyon for over a week in the national forest, and then I actually stayed for I think over a week, just a few miles from my campground in the national forest when I got there. So we just kind of boondocking, just stay up there, and of course we're higher elevation, so the earlier we get there, the more chance we'll have some snow, which makes Zen happy because he does like the snow. But that's usually what we do when we leave. We don't stay in campgrounds or RV parks. In my 2.5 years, I have stayed in one campground or two campgrounds, and that's when I first got started because I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing when I first started out. Like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? So we stayed in two campgrounds. It cost me like $30 for 2 nights. 2 nights in the campgrounds, and then most time on traveling, if we're on the road, we'll do either a boondocking somewhere, depending on where I'm at. If we're out west, we'll go BLM land or national forest land. If we're in the city, then we'll find a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel or Harvest Host. I'm a Harvest Host member, and I've used quite a few of those because even though you pay $99 a year and you get to stay at the Harvest Host for free, and they do recommend that you patronize the business that you're at. So, that's good. A restaurant or a brewery or something like that, and just go buy something. So they want to. There's no set amount. They just say, you're going to use our service. We'd like for you to help the people who are providing it. So I stayed in a place, Harvest Host, in outside of Palestine, Texas, and it was a what was it? Kind of like a wedding venue ranch area, and they didn't have much to sell. I bought a jar of 2 jars of jelly. So, um, and you just kind of like be nice and just use eyes. So, and then so it's just, but Harvest Host I use them quite a bit, especially when I'm on the road, and they're all over the country, all over, and they're really easy to get into, and then one other thing, campgrounds, like I said, RV parks. I'm not even going to try to get into an RV park because of the stories I've heard of. Some of them don't like older vehicles. A lot of them don't like buses, and some of them just uh, they're just not good because when you're RV park, usually you're stacked on top of each other, and I like a little bit of distance um, between me and other people. But yeah, I even stayed at a Harvest Host in Santa Fe. Is in the back parking lot of a church. So, what are you going to do there to support the church? Leave them a donation. So, um, but yeah, that was kind of, and then I was really surprised for being Santa Fe, being the state capital of New Mexico, that I think there is only one Harvest Host in Santa Fe, which was a whole lot less than I thought there'd be. Well, we had an hour. already. Boy, the time goes by fast for me, especially. I don't know about your my people on the other end, but it goes by really quick. We're gonna stay on for a few more minutes and see what happens if we can get a few more people saying hi and doing things. Um, but and then we'll work on getting some dinner made, and then getting back out to the desert before we get blown away. And dinner's going to be real quick because it's heat up some leftovers from last night. So, and usually when I make dinner, I make enough for 1 or 2 or 3 nights and just reheat the next night or two. It's just easier to do that way. So tonight is pork chops and potatoes and beans. Nothing special, but filling and good. Half an acre, come stay with Bride Brush Canyon. I might do that. Um, I want to do a little bit more after I get out of camp this year and more time in Utah. And so I might wind up um, going up that side of the state and seeing something. I want to see some stuff over in that side of the state. So I might do it. I might do it. I may take you up on that. Um, I can get this bus turned around on a half an acre. So same leftovers tonight. Yep. It just as easy to do. And they're I don't have a microwave, so I just throw everything back in my cast iron skillet and heat them back up. Which I still have not gotten any cornbread from my cast iron skillet. I keep forgetting that when I go to the store. Um, Chris Eaton, did you and Zen go over to Lori's Way? Potato bake on Valentine's? No, I didn't. I'm sorry to say, I haven't been to a potluck on hers this season, and I did go over for the Herbie and Lori's meetup and visit with them there then, but I haven't been to a potluck. But she didn't have near the crowd as she did last couple potlucks because, as I said, I think a lot of people are leaving, and yep, and she has her fruit pile is covered up because of the wind, and so it's all hidden away because all the stuff she got will blow away the clothing and the boxes and things. So she covers it up and puts wood and rocks on it so it stays pretty well covered, so nothing will get blown away. But no, I didn't. I did see a few people over there on her video. Saw Blue Van Dan walking around. He's actually camped right next to her, and he's made his appearance, but he was on the video. But no, I didn't make the potato bake. I think she had a lot of potatoes left over too from her video. I should have stopped by and got a few extra. I'm just seeing because somebody pulled in. I think they're just turning around because we don't have any space at the end. They're working on. They're in the Class C. They're working on turning around. Zen's perked up. There he goes. All right. Now the guard dog's working finally. It takes it. He was sleeping, so he's a great guard dog because they were right up against right in front of the bus. Yeah, you tell him, buddy. This is your neighborhood, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, they're coming. A lot of people come up here and come out the end of a little driveway, and they pull up. They think they can either find more spaces or go back in the desert, and you can't. So they have to turn around and go back out. and there's no way to mark that. There they go. They're heading back. Okay, they're good. Now I have to see if Lori's going to have another one before she leaves. She may have one in March. I think she's going to close down her free pile in 1st of March, 1st of April. So then what she does with hers is she takes all of her stuff and donates it to like a thrift store in town or a Goodwill or something. I guess the Salvation Army. There's no Goodwill in town, but there's a couple of thrift stores. And then she donates it to them, or she puts it in. I don't think she puts it in storage. She might. I don't know exactly what she does. I know her van stays down here throughout the season because she didn't use it last season. She left her van here. He's still watching the people pull over there. What are they doing? It's kind of funny to watch people drive around the desert because where they're going to park at is not in a good spot. Okay, they're going to get stuck in that. Don't mind. My entertainment is watching campers trying to get in and out of the parking area. Okay, they're moved out of that spot. I don't know why they parked in there. Outdoor Gypsy, did you know Matty Van Halen's there in Quartzsite? Yes, he is. He's over on Pomosa Road, about 8 miles to the north. I haven't met Matty. I want to at some point stop in and say hi to him, and but I still watch his videos all the time. And matter of fact, his bike he had, his King Bull bike, Paul was my neighbor, and he bought it from him. So. When he was here, and Paul has gone back to he's going to Alaska. So okay, they got their Class C in the right spot this time. Did you run him off? He's such a good guard dog, isn't he? Yeah. Matty's out here somewhere. I could find him if I went looking for him, but I'm not gonna go look for him. So he is a really good guitarist, isn't he? Surprised at hidden talent some people have, and he is a good guitarist. But like I said, I have never met him or talked to him, but he seemed like a pretty nice fella. And he's got that. Hold on a second. What is that thing called? Casita. There you go. I'm going to say scamp, but it's casita, and working that over. So that's going to be good for him. He needed something definitely he could stand up in because he's 6'2" or something like that, and living out of the back of a van, you can't stand up or move around. It's got to be bad on your back over the years, but this way at least you can move out. With the bus here, I've got 6'4" on the inside, so I have no problem moving around. And then most time, if it's not wind blowing hurricane strength, I'm outside and hanging out outside. So. But yeah, he's a good guitarist. You can see the camera moving back and forth. That's the wind. So it's like I said, it's ripping. And what are you doing? Zen's back up here again. I'll have to come out and meet all of those guys, including Wandering Gypsy. Well, I don't know if you have seen Wandering Gypsy's last video. She's not going to be on the road for a while. She said she's not going to be traveling until the first of the year. She's going to be pretty much out of the area and into her new home base that they have purchased some land somewhere. I don't know where, somewhere in the desert, but I think it's probably in Nevada. If I'm guessing, whoop, I may be wrong. Oh, that was not the wind, that was the dog paw. But yeah, she won't, maybe she'll be back next season. We'll have to find out. I do have her contact info so I can, let her find out what's going on, but I'm not going to worry about it because we're all going to go do our own separate things for the rest of the season anyway. So, and being nomads, we'll see each other on down the road, which will be at some point in the next season. And usually Maddie comes out and hangs around, but usually doesn't stay around this area too long. But this time with the casita, he's been here for a good month, and usually he's here for like a couple days and gone. So he's hanging around. Yeah, so maybe, like I said, maybe next season she'll come down, because I know she says she does not like hot temperatures, and so and I don't know how she does on cold temperatures, but so she may be down here in the first of the year where it's and hang out for a month or so where it's it's in the 50s and 60s and 70s instead of being up in the desert where maybe 20s and 30s or hundreds in the summertime. So yeah, both Sarah said next year both will be back next season. I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking. That she may have said that before they left, but that's before they got land. So, and then she said on her video that she would be probably not traveling until the first of the year. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, so I'm thinking after the first of the year they'll show back up and see back here. And I think Wonder Hussey liked the area, but she's got her compound up in Death Valley that they're hanging out up there. And let's see what happens that. But yep, both Sarahs, nice ladies. I like both of them. They're really friendly, nice people. What are you doing? Get Wonder how she did like the nomad community out there, but she's not a full-time nomad, but she travels quite a bit, and she's a funny. I like watching her videos because she's a hoot on just the way she presents herself and talks about everything. It's kind of funny, but what are you doing? Huh? Zen's right here and he's breathing on me. What are you breathing on me for? Oh, he's gonna do this. He'll go hide. Go hide. There you go. Go lay down. All right, you wanna go lay down? Go lay down. What do you want? They got their own mind, don't they? Dogs. For sure. Well, I think we'll end this video or this live because we've been on here for 71 minutes. And Zen, like I said, is staring at me. There's the end of his nose right there. He's staring at me and breathing on me, and I don't know what he wants. So we're going to see if he wants to go back out and do that. But yeah, we'll end this, and we'll then work on the live for next week and do the same thing, same time, same place, maybe outside, depending on the weather. But did I get a view of that SpaceX launch, Rogue Ship? Yes, it's right over the mountains here, so it's really, really nice to see. And that's the first time I've seen the actual full SpaceX flight, so it was really kind of nice. Bye, TomandZen from Napa Valley. Thanks, Krista Eaton from Napa Valley, and thanks everyone that joined us today on our live. And we're going to, like I said, take care of Zen, and then we're going to work on some dinner and then go on with the rest of our time here in the desert for the night. So I do have another video coming out tomorrow. Be a little short one. They're not really interesting now because there's not much going on, but just our daily life. And so we'll have that out tomorrow and put it up there. So, but yep. Janet Hall, have a great afternoon. Thanks. Love the live. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Janet, and the rest of them that for being on here. And I think Janet was the first one on here, matter of fact, today. So double thanks for that, for staying around the entire time and listen to me ramble on and Zen bark. He's having a stare down contest, and he's going to win. All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. And meantime, we'll see you guys around the campground on our videos. Right? You want to say bye to everybody? Look here. See if I can I'll get him to the front angle here. Hold on. He'll say goodbye to everybody. Whoop, there he's going that way. Oh, there he goes. And there's a water bowl. All right. See you guys on around. Thanks for watching, everybody.